And he was like, can we?
And those ideas and options to just our agents to make them stand out as well. So our goal isn't just to get them to sell more houses, right? Our goal is to help them like become wealthy in real estate, and that's giving them opportunity to do that. So we'll continue working on that, but it's a step in the right direction. Just kind of throw some ideas on a board and let's see what works.
Absolutely. And I do think one of the things that, when you look at what Keller Williams brings to the table or any platform, what happens then is as we're hearing it as agents getting into the business or trying to grow a larger business than what we currently have, we hear it and then yet we then are faced with the challenge of implementation. So one of the greatest things that Pacific Estates does is it's a culture of collaboration and agents helping other agents get through those challenging times to implement those strategies. And you guys do the best job, and it shows up in your numbers, with agents helping agents. That's why those numbers that you showed me yesterday, Rob, were so strong.
They're pretty good, right?
Yeah, very good.
I study a lot of multi-trend reports. It kind of tells you a story. You can see what happens in a market center. So it and what direction they're going in. It's a lagging indicator, but it tells a good story of what you need to do to obviously create new leading indicators.
That's right. And what you shared with me is we're a very strong buyer representation focused office, and we are wanting to become a very focused listing office, right? Just like a sales agent business. And to my point earlier with agents helping agents is some people might need some help making that transition. And maybe some people hadn't thought about that yet until we entered into the market we're now in, which has certainly shown some challenges if you're out there representing buyers based on the limited inventory. And I was talking to somebody else about this yesterday. For whatever it's worth, some of it might just be a matter of mindset, is if you look at the shift book and you look at the data that's provided in there of what happens when we transition from a seller market to a buyer's market, if in fact that's where we're headed. It's a flat transition for about 7 months or so, where we'll see this type of low inventory, a lot of pinned up demand, and a lot of buyers writing multiple offers. So the reason I mention that is that some people are frustrated by it, including the agent I was speaking with outside of this office yesterday. And I gave them that piece of information so that they could at least see the end in sight, so that they could continue the fight. And if you don't give up, you can win. You're only going to lose if you quit.
Yeah, I think, man, I had one buyer wrote 14 offers to finally get one accepted. It took a while. Wow. But they were persistent and all the homes were nice. They all fit their needs. So
that was me too.
Right. And our job is like, we have to encourage our customer too. Sometimes they get burnt out and they're like, you know what, screw it. We're just going to wait 2 more years or 3 more years. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, you're not going to get what you want if you quit. So let's continue moving forward. That just might be, there's another opportunity out there that might actually be better than the one that we just passed on or we didn't get. So if you have a story to tell, or you found a story, or maybe somebody else's story you could adopt, telling stories to our customers always works really well as well. Like, hey, I was showing a customer, we wrote 14 offers, we got 0 accepted. And then all of a sudden the house in a neighborhood that they really wanted that never comes up available, they were able to get into. So you might have a no now. It just means there might be a better yes coming soon. So let's go ahead and continue pushing forward, viewing properties, writing offers, and you'll get what you want if you don't quit. So we're a heavy buyers office right now. We did 635 transactions, 417 of those, or 418 was buyer transactions, and we had 217 listings, right? So knowing that we have all of those buyers, I would love on those buyers a lot, because imagine your buyers are going to turn into sellers. So one thing I really like about buyers personally is that buyers love you. Sellers are cool. You sell their house, you made them a bunch of cash, they moved out of town or they moved on. buyers stuck around. They're actually buying in the area that you service. So I would be very heavy in recruiting those buyers to give you referrals. So if you don't have them on a smart plan where you're hitting them every single month, 30 times, 40 times a year, I would get on that. You'd be surprised how many referrals you get. You help them with part of the American dream, which is owning a part of America, right? So I would leverage that a lot. Who's having a really good success in touching their past buyers that are turning into sellers or turning into obviously more referrals? Adam, is that you? You're muted, buddy.
We're having a good success rate with referrals, just sticking to the basics. When we used to be very big on open houses, SOI, and door knocking. So now we're just down to SOI, just calling people. So all we've been doing is just calling and asking, how are you? And at some point, if they have an interest in real estate, they'll bring it up. But for the first couple months of the pandemic, I didn't ask anyone for business. I just called to check in on them, right? And then now that I've been talking to them, sending them cards, monthly mailer, just following a touch program, it's been a lot easier. So that's been a big help for us just for referrals. I mean, I had a buyer that hasn't bought yet, referred me their friend who ended up buying before they did. So just, you don't know, and you got to ask for the referrals. One of the big takeaways is that we don't ask for referrals as often as we should. And it's kind of crazy because if we're right there and they're already our client and we're already showing them what we do and they're happy, like, we should definitely be asking for referrals, because they are going to know someone, and being that they're buying a house is exciting, right? Everyone loves to talk about what they're doing. So they're going to know someone else who at least has a question, or they know someone who should be buying, right?
Exactly. So if you're in a transaction with a buyer or a seller, when do you ask them for a referral?
I like to ask when we have a win. Hey, you got an escrow, congratulations. Hey, you got approved during the buyer consultation. Ask, hey, if you found value out of this, who else do you know that should go through this? A lot of times it's a family member. Oh yeah, my mom needs to buy, or my uncle, or my brother, someone, right? But I like to ask on a win, on a high point. If they don't get an offer accepted, I'm not going to ask them for a referral. Like, oh, hey, by the way, who else do you know? So just want to ask them when things are going well. And, if you just treat it right, and same thing, if you're talking to your SOI, if you find out they just got the coronavirus, don't be like, oh, I hope you feel better. But by the way, who else do you know? Like, don't be that guy. Just, be
Well, that's
nice.
obviously not a win.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're asking for referrals as early as getting them pre-approved for a loan?
Definitely. If they found value out of it, right? Because especially if they're a first-time buyer, they're going to be really excited. They're going to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we're ready to go. So if your presentation provides value, you should ask.
Gotcha. So for example, like, I work for FedEx. I just got pre-approved for a loan. What would your script be like? Hey, congratulations. You just got approved for $700,000 to purchase your first home. I know you're working at FedEx. How many other friends and family members you got that are in the same situation that could probably benefit by getting into home ownership? I mean, you qualified for 700. They probably do too. Would you like me to help them out?
Pretty much. Say, hey, congratulations. You just got approved, Rob. If you found value out of this, all we ask is that you keep us in mind throughout this process. You're going to have other friends, family members, co-workers who you're going to talk to, and they may have some questions. And if they do, I'll ask you, just send them our way. Or if you know someone who should be buying, send them our way too. We'd love to help them out as well.
Gotcha. So every win. So that's something we should probably practice. Every time someone has a win, we ask them for a referral. So I'll be doing the same thing. Every time you have a win, I'm going to ask you for a referral. Congratulations, you just closed escrow. Who'd you close escrow with? Oh, that referring agent. Great. Hey, you mind giving me their phone number? I'd like to reach out to them, help you build your downline.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing the same thing. So I'll be hitting you up for referrals. Don't worry about it. What else? Who's been capturing some great referrals from buyers? Buyers love you. Anybody else got some beautiful buyers? So one thing that I learned in the past, and I'm gonna share with you, whether I'm making part of it up or not, I'm not sure. Somebody mentioned before that there was a specific law called the law of emotional convenience. So I'm not sure if this is made up or not, but it sounds good. So I'm gonna share it with you. So the law of emotional convenience is like this. Many of you have probably, not myself, but have probably shopped at like a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or a nicer place, right? So when you walk in the front door, somebody is there to greet you. Usually they say, welcome, thanks for coming. Can I help you find anything? And usually you would say, no, I'm just shopping, right? And then all of a sudden you're walking, you're on the second floor, you're checking out say for example, you're checking out a new blouse and you found this awesome blouse, like, oh my gosh, it's in my size. I want to try it on. It's on sale. And you notice all the fitting room doors are locked, right? So what do? Do you go back downstairs all the way to the front door and you ask the person that you first met that was really nice to you to go all the way upstairs and open the door for you? Or do you stand there and as soon as the first employee walks by, you ask them for the keys to open the door? And they open the door for you and then they help bring you up and then they got credit for the sale. That's kind of the same way in your real estate business. You've reached out to somebody, they said, hey, I want to sell maybe in the next 2 years. And you wait, you wait 2 years, they're not going to wait for you. You were awesome, you were nice, they remembered you. But as soon as somebody comes and knocks on their door and says, hey, I just sold your neighbor's house, are you interested in possibly selling? And they say, yeah, we were thinking about moving to Texas. And then all of a sudden you list their house, you lost out because they're not looking to use you usually. Their goal is to sell their home. Their goal is to help buy a home. So our job is to make sure that when they're emotionally ready to act, that we are there in front of them. And that's why using your drip campaigns and using smart plans to stay in front of them every single second of the day, you're going to end up capturing their business. Otherwise, when they're emotionally ready, they're going to go whoever can help them first, right? At that time. And that's where you got people cold calling and they're capturing business, even though those people got a family or a friend who's a realtor, they lost out on a sale. And I know a lot of us have probably done the same thing. I know I have, where I haven't followed up continually with these people and they listed and sold with somebody else. And then you're like, what happened? I talked to you last year. We were good. Gosh, mom, didn't you know I was in real estate? And she goes, yeah, but this guy knocked on my door. He just sold that house and he could sell mine in a week. I'm already in escrow, Has that happened to anybody? Does that make sense? Maybe, yeah. Cool. So if that makes sense, what are you doing right now to continually staying in front of people? I was meeting with Niles earlier today and he mentioned the same thing. Somebody was looking to sell in a couple months, right? And then all of a sudden it, from next year it took to a couple months. And then finally it's like, dude, 2 weeks. So staying on top of those people consistently, they say 6 months, they mean tomorrow, right? So what exactly, I want to make sure that I can help you or facilitate you with a system or tools to be able to consistently stay in contact with them. Maybe you not personally, but maybe using command or a drip campaign or a text campaign to stay in front of their face consistently. Because I know Amazon does that for me. I clicked on something yesterday for, I Googled something and now it's on my Facebook feed and it follows me around and postcards on my front door, sticker on my door. So they really track me down to make me buy that thing. So we got to be the same way. As lovely as and attractive as you are and as smart as you are, they don't necessarily always want to work with you. They want to work with somebody who's right in front of their face at that time. And I've lost some business that way as well. So in recruiting and in sales.
Does somebody have a good seller campaign that's working for them, like an 8x8? Hey, I'm sending them this on week 1, week 2, week 3.
There's some great listing agents on this call. Anybody? Listing campaign? All of a sudden somebody's looking to sell. Are you popping them on some videos, sending them out some content? collectively, is that something that you want? Would that be something of value if I find those type of campaigns and put them out there? Oh my gosh, who's that guy?
You got to call on people, man, which is what I do all the time. So- Come on, guys. Rick, you got something for us.
Rick, we missed you.
He was on my power session, so. Rick, you there?
He's probably muted.
He's on a
Hey
call.
guys, this is Susie. I'm driving, but I think, Rick, if you find an 8x8 campaign, I mean, that would be great. Because I'll be honest with you, last year my team sold over 220 homes. I usually average 30 listings a year, and I can't tell you that we have a great 8x8 campaign. I do know that some of the clients I coach, I've coached them into shooting videos that they can use for buyers and sellers. So example, if it's a seller, you know, tips on how to prep your home, or if it's a buyer, the escrow process, the pre-approval process, and basically getting those videos in a library where you could actually, you know, once you've tagged all of your people, you're not having to reinvent the wheel. You're just sending out the same video to different clients. So that's something I feel that would benefit people, because I think videos are super more impactful than text messages or emails. But I would think that if we could come up with, or you could find an 8x8 campaign for sellers, that would be awesome.
Gotcha. Well, let's, I mean, we got some smart people on this call. Let's make one right now. Like, we're in an inner circle. Let's collaborate together. 8x8
I was
campaign.
about to say, you can pull things offline. You can pull things off of CRM companies' sites, like Follow Up Boss has one. So I think it's a couple of things. Number one, the challenge might be this, is people are stuck in their head and they think, I don't know what to say. I'm not proud of my brand. I don't have something that looks sexy. But then go back to what Rob Ross just said about the psychology of it and the convenience of it. Is people will oftentimes reach out to the person that's right in front of their face. That's why things like retarget marketing that Rob described, by using things like Facebook Pixel, exist, and you can leverage it. So I can just give you an example of how somebody who doesn't like to spend time on the computer did it, which is me. Is I took all this content that I found, I printed it all, I laid it out on a table, I brought Omar into the room. Susie knows who Omar is, and I said, Omar, take this piece. I literally picked 33 pieces out of the 120 that I grabbed. And then I told him, I put them in a chronological order, and I said, make these look pretty and put them into a file and send it to me. And then what I would do is I would save it on my phone, because like Josh just said, I was just constantly on the phone as well. But then after the conversation, I wanted to send somebody a message, or if they didn't pick up, I wanted to send them a text. And then I would just grab one of those marketing pieces and send them the text. And if you have enough of them, every subject matter that you're going to encounter with a potential seller, a potential buyer, chances are you will have one in your library that will make sense after the conversation. So it'll feel personalized to them. And all of this is also just a way of helping you get started, because I'm a firm believer is once you get started, you can evolve over time and you'll get better over time.
Gotcha. So what I did right now while you were chatting was I went to command, I clicked on smart plans, I clicked on library, and then in the corner here, I typed in seller, and I got an 8x8 seller campaign that popped up almost immediately from another top producing team at Keller Williams. Number one, they send an email. Well, what does that email say? If I scroll over the top of it, it tells me exactly what that person sends out in their personal email. All you got to do is, add your name to it. Hey, for tips, click here on how to sell your home. And they have these links already built in. Step 2 is a delay. And then all of a sudden they send out another email. Here's exactly what it looks like. Word for word, what another top producing team at Keller Williams is using for a seller 8x8 campaign. We don't even have to recreate the wheel. I could literally click on add this smart plan to my library, and it automatically updates my name and my information. I just took their entire campaign and now I'm using it for myself.
Rob, where'd you find this?
This is all in Command, KW Command.
I was going to ask you, Mr. Command, Rob Ross. I was going to ask you if there was something in Command that we could use. So
You know
that
what?
was it.
It's kind of like, Keller Williams has the largest real estate library compared to every company combined. Our library is bigger. It's on KW Connect, right? The largest real estate resource period in the world. Command has a lot of those things too. So they just upgraded a couple months ago where top producing teams are able to share their campaigns and their smart plans that they're running on Command. You just click on it and take their campaign. So the culture of collaboration, not within our office like Inner Circle here, but for the entire company is at your disposal, and then if you have a great one, you just share it to the library too. There's thousands and thousands of campaigns on here, smart plans that you could actually just take and just re-edit. Newsletters, I mean, you name it, it's on there. Buyers, sellers, FSBOs, whatever you could possibly think of, referrals, out of state, absentee owners. You just type in a keyword and boom, they pop up and just steal them. We're all about rip off and duplicate. That's how we've become successful, reach helping each other. So if you don't know how to do this, I'll show you, right? We're going to start Command training here pretty soon. So this stuff will become at your fingertips, very easy to use, and it's super user friendly. So I wouldn't mind showing you how it works, and we'll shoot a couple videos and post them. We're building a new platform for our training calendar where you're going to have access to all of these things. I'll shoot a couple Loom videos or something and show you how to access them. But yeah, any of this tech stuff that you're looking to use, we could help you with. And you could take the same format and use them if you're using another CRM. You could still copy these letters and just drop them into another CRM. I mean, that's totally doable as well. What else? 8x8 seller campaign. That was a great question. Problem solved. Next. What else do you got? What's happening in your business right now that you think right now? We should have been setting goals for 2021. Does anybody have a specific goal, something that they want to declare to the world right now and put out there that we could hold them accountable to and encourage you and support you on getting, whether it be personal or professional?
Come on, Nadine.
Heard that, Mario. I'll help, Rob. Yeah, I have a personal goal. If some of you guys have seen on Instagram or heard me complaining in the last 2 weeks, I have got a trainer and I have a nutritionist, and my goal is to get healthy and to lose 30 to 40 pounds. So hold me accountable. If you see me eat candy, encourage me not to, but if I tell you I am, I don't know, sometimes, I need cheats, but I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to just be healthier so I have a longer life. So if or when I get COVID, I can fight it. And so my brain can keep going and pumping out good stuff for Keller Williams and for my own business also.
Do you mind me coaching you for a second?
No, go for it.
So what is it, 30 or 40?
I was just going to ask. 40.
40.
Gotcha. Now, thank you for being on. So 40 is your goal, right? So if 40 is your goal, you're gonna break down a 135, right? We all have a GPS of 135. Your one goal is 40 pounds. What are the 3 areas of your life that have to change to be able to get to that goal? Number 1 is most likely exercise, right?
Yep.
Well, actually, number 1 is
Yep.
your food. It's always your food.
Yep.
So number 1 is food. Number 2
Yep.
is exercise, and number 3 is
Number 3 is mental. It's my relationship with food, because I am not somebody who drinks when I am emotional or whatever. I'm not someone who says I'm going for a run and becomes obsessed with that. It's food. Sugar and carbs give me comfort. And so in addition, part of this accountability is that I got a therapist that's helping me with my relationship with food.
Gotcha. So number 1 is food. So if that's your 135, what are your 5 priorities, or what are your 5 strategies to be able to attack that food? I know right now mine is drinking a gallon of water. Right. I cut out all sugar and all bread, for the next 90 days. So I'm kind of on the same path that you're on. So if you were to write down your 135, 40 pounds, food, exercise, and mental, what are the 5 strategies you're going to do to attack each one of those goals? And then some of them go on your calendar, like the exercise one is something you could stick on your calendar.
Yeah. So my 5, right? If I'm going off of the list, number 1 is like you, water. Number 2 is following what my nutritionist says. This isn't a 6-week thing for me. This is a 6-month to 12-month commitment. The 6 to get me to the 40 and the 12 to keep me making it a part of my life, not just for those 3 to 6 months or however long it takes, right? Like my coach and I, we have what our goals are for 3 months that are realistic and what our goals are for the 6 months, which is the 40 pounds at the 6 months. And she reminds me constantly that we're not sprinting, we're running a marathon. So it's, if I don't do it 100% something one day, then I start over the next day, and it's a new day to keep going and keep pushing towards that goal. So water, following what my nutritionist tells me, and then working on the better eating habits, and noticing, for me, is also noticing, finding something to switch where normally if my emotions would have taken me to the refrigerator or to junk food or whatever it is, it's making those conscious efforts to stop and to do something else. I think in the power session, Josh, was it staying busy, being constant, right? Like not pausing, not taking time to think about it, but to do to stay busy and do something. I'm not sure what my 4 and 5 is. Maybe you can help me. What would that be in?
Well, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that. So, do you see how you have your one specific goal and how we could use some of the Keller systems and models to break down not only aspects of your business but aspects of your life?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you have clarity, because clarity is power. It's a bold law, and what you focus on expands. Right? Boom. It's another bold law. So we want to make sure that your goals, which whatever they are for 2021, they're not mine, they're yours, that you have a 135. And not only do you have your 135, the most important thing that I could stress about any of this is putting those goals into action plans that actually make it on your calendar.
Yeah.
Because we can make an awesome 135 all day long, but if it doesn't get on your calendar, it doesn't exist, right? Another bold law, boom.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like I wrote my 135 as we were talking about it. I'm gonna print it out and I'm gonna hang it here. I'm gonna hang it at home too. I just need to put 4 and 5. Some of the
Perfect.
stuff is already on my calendar. When I order my meal prep is on my calendar. When I work out is on my calendar. How I rest to get, would rest be one of my 5?
yeah,
Because I don't always rest. I'm not good at resting.
well, it has to be measurable, right? It has to be a SMART goal. So when are you going to rest? How long are you going to rest? How many days are you going to rest? Like, what does that
Yeah.
look like? We have a great agent over in the Cerritos office, Mark Perez, and he literally has on his calendar when he takes a nap in the middle of the day. So at
Yeah.
a specific time, you will always find him in his car. He goes to his car and he takes a nap. It's part of his calendar. It's part of his regiment for his mental exercise and his work. So that's something you want to put on your calendar as well.
Yeah, I don't have that on my calendar, but like, and I'll add it. That's a great, I need to do that, but I know that I don't train Tuesday and I don't train on Monday. So Monday and Tuesday, I let myself work late into the night, or Monday night, I let myself work late into the night, but I train Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. So last night I was in my bed by 8:30. My laptop was not allowed to sleep in my bed with me last night. And my phone had to be put on. That was the hard part, is putting down my phone, but I really forced myself to get rest so that I was ready for my workout this morning. And I was ready to go. And you mentioned Mark trains with the same trainer. So if she's training Mark and he's successful, then I want to take the same steps that he's making so that I'm successful also. Rather, whatever side it is, it moves. If it's in your fitness and it becomes a part of your life, it's going to be in my business also. And I feel like my business is what pushed me to doing this, to getting this done.
Gotcha. Okay. What else? What else you guys got going on in your business? There's something that I wanted to kind of touch base on and kind of get some ideas from you guys, because I know a lot of agents are having the same issue. Is there any other issues that you want to, or challenges or things that you want to talk about your business right now?
I mean, hi guys, my name is Connie. I have to be not on video. I'm driving right now, but I do I think, I get inspired by Mark Larico. I don't think he's on the call right now, but, one of the things I want to do is educate myself on certain things around real estate. I think the big thing right now is ADUs. I work with a lot of investors, and I work with people, just, regular people that I talk to. They're always asking about things like ADUs. So I, want to go ahead and, continue to educate myself in ADUs so I can share that kind of information or anything that I think my clients are, feel useful. And just, I'm also an investor myself. And I feel like sometimes I don't share those nuggets with other people because, I'm still like 3-4 years of an investor, but I still feel like I'm not experienced enough in those kind of areas. But I think, I feel like even though now I'm feeling like more confident that even though I may know a little here, a little there, I feel like some of the stuff, people are asking these common questions that I could easily help them. I'm just now finding like a little bit more of the confidence to do those things, or at least put myself out there.
Gosh, okay. Remo actually just taught a class. I want to say it was on Saturday. I think it was a buyer's presentation or a buyer's seminar he just did. I didn't actually attend it, but he actually had touched base on ADUs and gave quite a bit of information about them. I don't know much in that field, but I can connect you with someone who can. Does anybody else on this call know quite a bit about ADUs, building them, converting them? I do have some people that I've worked with in the past that actually do that, on the construction side, you're working with the city that I could pair you with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's just something that I just need to dive into. I mean, I have a lot of connections with like, other investors that do ADUs. I think I just really need to educate myself more because I get a lot of questions on that, just from all sides of clients and just people I'm talking to. And I'm passionate about that side of investing too. I think I just need to come up, and just really share those things with other people.
It's a hot topic right now. So you actually get on a lot of people's radar when you just mention it. So if you're working with an investor who hasn't worked with you before and you just mention the word ADU, it's something that's a hot topic for them because it's a moneymaker. And then all of a sudden it automatically connects them with you. So a lot of times, it's kind of like flipping properties. Everyone and their mom wants to flip properties, but not very many people do because there's a lot behind the scenes that they don't know about flipping properties. If you haven't flipped one, they just see what they see on TV. I bought it for X, I sold it for Y, and this is all the money that I made. Like they didn't deduct carrying costs. They didn't conduct cost of waiting, points, interest. I mean, they didn't put any of that stuff in there. And they, property gains tax, like short-term property gains tax, they didn't factor any of that stuff in. It's like, oh man, they made 60,000 or made 100,000. It's like, well, not really. So stuff like that, you could pique a lot of people's interest when you talk about flipping homes. Most people don't, but then they start with buying their own home. Hey, your first flip's gonna be your own home. You need to buy it. Let's get you into a home first and talk about flipping later. So
that's just one of the things that I need to work on is just being confident because I do have the information. I have some experience of flipping and things like that. I just need to put myself out there, and I just don't do that enough last year.
Gotcha. So if we were to find a way to put on an ADU workshop, like that'd be something you'd be interested in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I took that down. I like that.
Thank you.
Let's see. One thing I wanted to chat about was that I don't have a problem with, but I know a lot of people have these challenges, is right now, how are you running your real estate business with kids at home? A lot of agents that I talk to, because, I'm sitting and talking to 40 agents a month, right? 40 appointments a month where I'm talking to outside Keller Williams agents. And some of their businesses haven't been able to shift because now their kids are from home. How do you, your kids are usually in school and then you're out working 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, and then you pick them up from school and then you have the mom and the dad life afterwards. How are you adjusting when you got a 7-year-old at home that needs to be on a Zoom and you can't leave them home alone? How are you adjusting in your business, or who are you partnering with or leveraging with to continue running your real estate business with schools not being open? Who's having that challenge?
I am.
And it's a challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does anybody on this call right now have that same challenge or are able to overcome that? Like what exactly are you doing? That's, you can't show properties. You can't leave your kid home alone.
I actually bring my kids with me.
and they stay in the car when it's like a last minute showing on the weekdays. My husband gets home from work at 4, but by then it's usually already dark nowadays. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, my kids, they're 8 and 4, and they usually, like if it's a last minute thing, they usually just sit in the car with me and they just roll with it.
Okay, has anybody got, maybe someone has smaller kids? Like imagine having a 5-year-old that's, 2 5-year-olds that are that are in kindergarten or something. That's got to be really, really tough. Has it affected your business at all? Are you seeing that you're being less productive? Because now not only are the kids at home, but you're actually their teacher. Like you have to, help them with their Zoom, make sure they're following up with their homework. I mean, it's all you. And running a real estate business at the same time. So got to be a superwoman at home or a
Yeah,
superman.
yeah, this is Connie. I mean, for me, I have a 7-year-old son, and I think I really set up a schedule, and it took me a while. It took me like a lot of times to kind of figure this out. Because I also work full time as well. So just setting that schedule for him and actually printing it out, making it look like geared to him, put his picture on it, kind of make it fun for him. I think, just sticking to that schedule for him, that really helped me out so I could block my time. And so he could block his time and we could block a time together during the day. And it's like from 9 o'clock to like 2:30 where we have our own time and he does his own independent studies. But then there are times I have to make arrangements, to help clients, outside the house. And that is a challenge.
How old is your son?
7.
7. So you just time blocked your 7-year-old. You are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took a lot. Like Susie has helped. Susie, he's on the call right now, is my coach. That helps a lot, just the time blocking and just, yeah, it's crazy, but it seems to evolve all the time.
Okay. So you feel that now that is taking up a chunk of your time, that you are more productive in the time that you have left?
Yes. I even like this morning was a crazy topic that we're talking about, the time blocking right now, is that I have a 7 to 8:15 time from Connie's time. And I had to tell my whole household, this is new house rules. You do not talk to me. You do not call me. You don't anything from 7 to 8:15, because I have to have my own, personal time to do my yoga and my meditation, stuff like that. I had to like, hey, this is the new house rules, those kind of things. And just like, Nadine was talking about, just setting that time for yourself. I think that's very important to start your day like that. It helped me a lot.
Wow. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind sharing what that calendar would look like, maybe on just maybe shoot an email or a text message. I'd like to share that with everyone. That's pretty awesome. I know we always say, like, when we go on vacation, the couple hours before we leave, we get the most done. It's like unbelievable. You get 500 things on the list done because you have to. And right now you are put in a situation that most people would fail at, right? Time blocking and actually sticking to the schedule. And you seem to be crushing that. So that's pretty rad. Especially teaching your children how to time block and actually letting them own it. You put his picture on there, you let him own that schedule, and that's his. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, my mind is kind of different because like some of the stuff I can't really time block because I am working full time. But I shared with Susie, the things that I've learned is that just putting it as a task in my Google, knowing those things, I have to be actually doing it, like my cold calls, my follow-up leads and things like that, because that really restricted me when I put a time block. Sometimes I can't do it because I'm working full time too. So that helped me. I had to tell it to myself because it's not going to fit everybody's type of model.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Thaida, let's work on that. Let's collaborate more off of this this forum, and let's see if we could really dial some stuff in for you, because
Cool.
Collectively together, I'm sure we can come up with something amazing where you could still crush it at the stay-at-home mom, teaching. You're now the school teacher. I'll write a letter to the county and see if you can get a paycheck. School teacher, And,
Rob, to add to what Connie's saying, Rob, I know Steph's not on the call. I actually messaged her. She's showing houses, but she time blocks her kid also. And when she time blocks, she gives her attention to whatever it is that she time blocks to.
Yeah, I second, triple that, all of that. When my kids were little, I would put them on the calendar like if they were an appointment, and they were setting an appointment. And when they were little, we were, their mom and I weren't together, and so that they were living in separate spots. So they were literally on my schedule as 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It was them time block. And then whenever a client called me, it was like, I'm sorry, I'm already booked with a client at that hour. And it's just, they made me keep a schedule, because when I was on for work, it was like 100% work. So it makes you more focused. You just got to time block and put them on the schedule.
That's actually a great point, Rick. If it made it on your schedule, it's actually important. So
Yeah.
put your family time on your schedule and don't do anything else. That's their time. They own it, and they know that you're 100% there for them. So you're not, you're not half-assing it. You're not doing, I'm working while I'm with my kids, or I'm working while I'm with my wife or my husband, right? So when you're with them, you're with them. So it's 100% their time, and then you crush that work 100%, and then you crush your family time 100% as well.
And when we go back to normal, we're going to go back to sports. We're going to go back to them playing soccer. We're going to go back to them playing football. And you're going to have different times that you need to schedule for your kids. So just always put them on your schedule, and they're set, and everybody else fits in between them.
I have a question. So with my 8-year-old, he's great. He totally understands that mommy has to work. Like we can time block and everything. That's fine. But what do you do with a 4-year-old? Because I have a 4-year-old as well, and he doesn't really understand, and he needs the attention all the time. So any suggestions for younger ones like that?
Benadryl.
I was going to say NyQuil.
Oh my God.
That can have the opposite effect too. It can make them wild.
I'm sorry, we have to delete some of the social services members that are on this call.
I have maybe a suggestion. I don't have a 4-year-old. I have a 7-year-old. But is there something that your 4-year-old can do independently without?
Like right now, he's on his iPad.
I was totally against that before, but I think, just having the iPad for that time being, whether it's educational or something entertaining for him, I think would probably be something that would be helpful. Maybe.
I think the iPad is a really good thing, because with my 10-year-old now, but before, you as long as you do it consistently, where okay, during this hour and this hour, this is your babysitter is the iPad. I'm right here in case you burn yourself, or you crack your head open or something like that. But other than that, you're on that iPad, and it's quiet time for mommy to do her calls. It's going to take you a week or two, or maybe a little longer. But once they get into that same rhythm, they'll know, hey, you know what? I can't talk to mom right now.
Or they could be excited about it, Rick. You're right. Imagine if they're not on the iPad all day and their iPad time is from 10 to 12. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait to do iPad time. It's from 10 to 12 or 10 to 11. And then that's the hour that you have to do what you need to do. That's a great
What I've done is I've bugged my daughter when she's when she doesn't want to be bugged, when she's online with her friends, or FaceTiming with her friends, or playing a game. Go bug the heck out of her, and then show her what it feels like.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like when my 8-year-old plays with my 4-year-old, everything is a lot easier. But like right now, he's in school in the other room until noon, and so my 4-year-old is like either bothering me or bothering, brother. So that's kind of the struggle. But I think we'll get through it. We'll work on it.
Be consistent about putting him in his own little area for a certain amount of time while that's going on, and they'll get used to it.
Those are some great suggestions. We're a family company. We all have families. So, our belief system is God, family, business. So family comes before your business. So we want to make sure that we're definitely taking care of our families first, and then squeezing in what's left to build our businesses to help fund the future for our families. So awesome. Yeah, let's try that. I took some notes. I'm going to take some suggestions, because I have, my wife is home with the kids, although it is a little hectic because we have, a whole gaggle of them. So, the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old, they're either like playing together or they're destroying the place. So they're like little spider monkeys with crayons. So it's a little crazy. either hurting each other or playing with each other, one of the two. So, but definitely time blocking them is awesome. You know, I have them time block for naps, you know, boom, 12 o'clock, between 12 and 12:30 down for nap to 2:30, 2 o'clock to 2:30, and then same thing at bedtime. So time blocking iPad time would be awesome for my wife as well, because then she can get some done during that time block. So I'm definitely going to take some of those suggestions and take them home and see what I could work on doing that as well. Cool. That's a big challenge. And I see it when we're recruiting a lot of agents. Some of their biggest challenges is like, you know, they're either single parent or they're both people are working and they got kids. And, you know, it's something we definitely want to keep talking about. And if someone finds a good suggestion or something that works really well for you, let's share those things so we could all, you know, live a more productive life with our kids. What else?
Rob,
What other challenge?
I have one to add on time blocking. I don't have kids at home. I don't have, I don't know what we want to call it, like those types of commitments, right? But my baby is, I work all the time. And so I can tend to overload or burn out. And what I do with my time blocking for that burnout, like on the weekends or in the evening time, is that I make it so important for us to take me time. Take time for yourself. And I give myself that time. I'll work for 3 hours and I take a break for 2 hours. I work for 3 hours and I take a break for 2 hours. And it doesn't, I used to get resentful towards work. I'm always working. I can never do anything for me. And then I realized, no, Nadine, that's your choice. So I choose to work for 3 hours and I'll put a timer. And then when that timer's up, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a 2-hour break. And I put a timer. And then, you know, it's like, I already know 30 minutes ahead of time. Cool, I'm about to take a break and do this next. And I can plan what that's going to be. And, you know, I don't have kids, so I don't have that same hurdle that you guys do, but for me, that's what it is. And that's how I fix it.
Awesome. So what else you got? Positive, negative, challenges, something encouraging? Who's doing something really well? So,
Hey, Rob, can I make a suggestion from something that was mentioned earlier?
Of course.
Two things. One, Connie, if you could take your time block schedule and share it onto Firestone, maybe then it can make its way into the files, or, you know, there's different sections of the group. That way other people can access the resource. So we'll have our own library, just like the library Rob Ross mentioned when he quickly grabbed off the 8x8.
Connie, I can go ahead and do that if you'd like, since you send it to me weekly.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, text me.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I'll text you.
Okay.
And then my second comment would be, our suggestion, I should say, is since you brought up such a great question or series of questions, going back to the seller campaign or 8x8, is there anybody who's willing to, you know, send us your name so that we can hold you accountable, so that we can follow up with you, and we can have a by when date on when you plan on getting yours ready. And the more people we can get to having those follow-up campaigns, the more listings you guys are going to get.
By the end of the month.
Yeah, and I don't have anything to write. I guess I could take the list of names, but is there somebody on the team that the people that are volunteering can send them to? Would it be Nadine? Would it be Susie? Would it be you, Rob?
It's definitely not going to be me.
And I'm making the suggestion, and it's definitely not going to be me. There must be somebody who's good at the organization and will have a follow-up, because I think if we do this, we're going to get more people. If it's nothing other than their ego alone, once you make a declaration, say, I'm going to do this, and then it's publicly posted, a lot of people are going to migrate towards that effort, and they're going to get it done.
What do you need done, David? I could do it. Tell me what you need done and I'll
No, not Nadine.
start it.
Not Nadine, no. You got too much stuff going on. I'll do it. I'll take it.
Thank you, Rick. I missed
You're the
you.
man.
So Rick, by the end of the month, he's going to have his 8x8 campaign, you know, written out, ready to rock and roll, right?
I'll put in the chat my email. You send me by when you're going to have your 8x8. And on every inner circle, we'll put you on blast and see how far you've gotten.
Now, what should the rules be to be considered you know, I've done this. Is it that we have a campaign that's completed, or do we have to have a campaign that's completed inside a database of people and we've actually sent out the first piece? What do you guys think?
Sent out the first piece.
I agree.
And yes, I still have a Yahoo account.
Kind of dated yourself there a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm going back to AOL.
So, I mean, I saw you on MySpace the other day. It was interesting.
Hey, coming back, man. Coming back.
When he gets kicked off and he comes back on, I hear ding, 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 ding. Remember that? No one remembers that.
Okay, cool. So 8x8 campaign. I think Adam threw his email address in there. He's going to have his 8x8 campaign done by the next inner circle. He's going to share his next week.
Adam, you need to email me the details on what you got. What's your timeline look like?
Yeah, next week. His will be next week.
Oh, okay. Jeez. So he'll have it ready to share.
Yeah, he'll share his next week.
Awesome.
Perfect. So
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, Adam. Hey, since you're on the call, Adam, you know, I'd like to finish it off with, you know, we got like 2 minutes left, but you mentioned something earlier today about what you focus on expands. Could you elaborate and maybe share that with everybody?
Yes, I have been reading listening to a book on the law of attraction, manifestation, all that fun stuff. And right now, it was reminding me of a bold law, which you focus on expands. And right now, everyone is focusing on limited inventory, right? So my focus is moving towards an abundance of inventory. So that would be having abundance of listings. So what you focus on expands. So if you're saying, oh, there's only so many listings, there's not enough listings. Well, let's go and create some inventory, doing some work. So get on the phone, making calls. Our team, we do call nights on Wednesday nights from 5 to 7 p.m. So if anyone would just like to join us or just put some time on their schedule for that, we know that Gary Keller says in the MREA, you need at least one night a week to call, because there's some people you will never get a hold of during the day, right? Someone working a 9 to 5, they're not answering your call. So you got to give them a call at in the evenings. So one night per week should be at least a call night for you. So I like to do Wednesday nights. It's in the middle of the week. We have had really good success with it. So let's create some inventory.
That's awesome. So tonight, Wednesday night, right? We're going to be actually calling real estate leads or follow-up leads, right? So I usually don't call those, but I committed to being here on Wednesday night. So I'm going to be calling real estate leads as well. So if you guys want to come on in to the office, or maybe we want to do a Zoom so you could listen in and participate, we'll go ahead and put a Zoom link out there so you could actually be at home making phone calls and just listening to everybody else make phone calls, and we could listen to you as well. And we can collaborate and make phone calls together. It really helps me when making calls if I screw up on a call, right? Because somebody else is there saying, hey, Rob, you know, it would be really great if you asked for this. And I think most of the time when we make calls, we forgot to ask for referrals. And I'll be the first one to say, hey, by the way, you didn't ask them for a referral on a cold call. Like, who else do you know that might be interested in buying or selling, right? So referrals are huge. They might not want to, but they know somebody who will. You never know. It's like one sentence that could help you get a deal. So we're going to be doing cold calling every Wednesday from 5 to 7, Wednesday nights. That'll be on the calendar moving forward via Zoom and in person. So if you're going to be in person, stay 6 feet away from me. Just kidding. Yeah, no, 6 feet, but wear your mask. So we'll be doing it together in a safe manner. So if you want to come into the office, maybe go into a separate room and make some calls together, feed off some of the energy, but we are going to definitely be lead generation focused for listings, you know? So listings is controlling the inventory. So, and then not having limited beliefs, like Adam was mentioning, we focus on a lot of the negative things, like there's not enough inventory out there. My offers are never going to get accepted, right? So when you put that energy out there, you kind of get what you put out there. So let's focus on creating inventory for yourself. You have plenty of friends and family who are probably looking to sell. And if they're not looking to sell, have you told them how great Texas and Utah and Omaha is? Yeah, reach out to them, let them know. You know, it's really great, Montana. Really? Yeah, check into it. It's awesome. And then they might actually move to Montana. You can create some listings and a referral. where can I get the phone numbers to start calling? That's a great question. It all depends on who you want to call. Do you want to call, you want to make cold calls to a specific city, an area? Our title people are great resources, and we have some great title people on here today, are great resources to helping get data. So they necessarily can't buy data for us, but they can connect us with companies where we can pull lots of data.
Yeah, if anyone needs any data to be able to go on that call and be with the people and get energized, don't let the fear of not having it stop you. Just give me a call. I'll put my information in the chat and we can get you some data.
Data, got you covered. What else? Perfect. We're a couple of minutes over 11:03. So we're going to conclude this inner circle. Thank you so much for participating. I'm looking to raise the participation, probably doing it in-house and on Zoom at the same time, safely here in the office moving forward. And we appreciate being in business with you. Thank you for collaborating with us, listening and sharing. And we look to take some of the nuggets that you've given us and help propel our business forward. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Have a great day, everyone.